Chris Canty from ESPN on the Browns quarterback situation with Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, even though physically he might not be what he once was, there's still a way to quarterback this team in order to have success. Hell, we saw it last year with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, 38 years old last year, stepped in and guided his team to the playoffs.
He was Netflix and chilling.
Yeah, I mean, he prompted Kevin Durant on Sunday to say, you can put Flacco anywhere except the New York Jets, and he gonna hoop. And that's the most maddening part, Ev, and this is probably why I can't look at Stefanski or Andrew Berry, their general manager, as sympathetic figures in all of this. Because even though the owner is the one that has to say on whether or not Deshaun Watson is going to play, the owner is not meddling when it comes to the backup quarterback. The owner didn't tell you, oh, you got to get rid of Joe Flacco and bring in Jameis Winston when it costs you the same money. That is on the GM and that is on the head coach. They did not want to deal with the headache and the tension that it could create in that locker room if Deshaun Watson started the season the way that he did and the rest of the guys are looking at Joe Flacco.
Fair.
And to that concern, you know what I would say? That's what the money's for. That's why I'm paying you, general manager. That's why I'm paying you, head coach. You deal with it.
Yep.
You deal with it. You sold your soul to Deshaun Watson, and then you got rid of the only viable alternative that you've had in the building since Deshaun Watson showed up at quarterback, which was Joe Flacco.
And Sam, I defended the move not to re-sign Flacco when they did it because I thought it would have created some drama and dysfunction that you didn't need in the locker room. When it's laid out that way, it's tough to argue with Chris Canty's rationale.
Yeah, except it's here already. It's here anyway. It's not like that avoided the drama of we're already. I mean, 2 weeks into the season, there were people out there calling for Jameis Winston to start over Deshaun Watson. You know, we've got to bench him. We've got to turn to Jameis. It didn't avoid that. It might have avoided the specific of, hey, Joe Flacco, but it, you know, if it did anything, it kicked the can down the road for a couple of weeks. They still brought in a backup with starting experience, a guy who's thrown for 5,000 yards in the NFL, a guy that is a viable option to start games over a season and start a season's worth of games. So I don't really buy the idea that it avoided this terrible situation and drama and a potential locker room split of people wanting a change at quarterback. All it did was change the name. It just changed that the object of desire as the backup quarterback from Joe Flacco to Jameis Winston. But it's the same problem. It's the same dynamic.
Yeah, and again, Winston is a lot like Joe Flacco. Big arm, going to put the ball in harm's way, going to make big plays, and going to turn the ball over. So, I get it.